Hey everyone, I know there's been a lot of videos on YouTube about how to solve a Rubik's Cube, but a lot of them require a lot of memorization, and when you set the Rubik's Cube down for 6 months and pick it back up again, you don't remember all the algorithms and you can't solve it, and you're like, oh, I just solved this like 6 months ago, and now I can't do it, and I used to solve it every day, and I know that was really frustrating for me. I had to relearn how to solve the whole thing again after a couple months of not solving it. I picked it up out of my drawer and I was like completely dumbfounded. I just couldn't solve it at all. So I re-researched it. I re-figured out how to solve it. But I figured out that the reason why I was forgetting was because of so much memorization. You need more of muscle memory and like more tips and tricks in order to figure out how to memorize it. But I know the video that I watched was Dan Brown's video, and I think it has like 20 million views. And I know a lot of people have watched the video, obviously, because it has 20 million views. But that video is really hard to memorize. Like, it's good in order to figure out how to solve it, but for figuring it out long term, I'm gonna kind of share my tips and tricks with you guys. But what I do is I break it down into two halves. The first half, I try not to think of it as algorithms. I try to think of it as just getting the piece where it needs to be. And the first half is kind of common sense. I don't want to say common sense because, I mean, sometimes I get lost, sometimes a lot of people get lost on it, but for the most part, it is common sense. So in the other videos, they show that you need that green cross here, and then the colors here to match up, which we already have these two colors matching up. We have green, green, red, red, and then we just need to get these other pieces to match the center pieces. So we'll find one piece up here. So we have orange and green. So we'll just do a 180 on this so it matches up. You have orange, orange, red, red, and I'm going to try to go through this a little faster because I'm going to try to make it two parts. The second half I'm going to do a little bit more in depth. But so we'll just hurry up and do this. See, you have yellow here and green here, which this is a little more confusing because if you put the green or if you put the yellow on top and then you turn it to the yellow side, it's backwards. So what you need to do is just turn it this way, and then when you kink this way, your orange, the green kicked out this way. So you have to remember that it's there. When you turn this orange down, you just have to remember that that green is there, and when you turn it down into that position. So there's really only, I mean, I guess you can call it an algorithm to get these pieces here, but the only reason you need an algorithm is when you have most of the Rubik's Cube solved and you don't want to screw any of that up. If you're trying to get like this piece here or something like that, you do have to turn these against each other, and then you have to get them back in the right spot, and that's where the algorithms come in. So for this first half, it's really just getting the pieces where they need to be in order to do the second half, which are the algorithms. So we have yellow, yellow, orange, orange, and then we need the white lined up. We already have the red lined up. So the white is right here. And then since we have the orange here, what we do is we turn this up. And then since the top surface is still a free surface, we can turn that away from that all the way towards the white side. And then we just have to remember that we did turn this side and turn the yellow back down. And I know it sounds kind of confusing when I talk about it, but when you're actually doing it, it's a lot more common sense. And then, well, you have the white side here. I actually have to kink this again like we did before, and then turn the orange surface down. And then you can just turn the white surface all the way down. And if this is confusing for you, I would go back to some of the more beginner videos and just figure out how to get the algorithms to go here. And then once you figure those out and you solve it doing the algorithms, say you solve it 10 times, you kind of understand what I'm talking about how it gets to be common sense. Because I don't even think of these as algorithms. I think of these as just putting the pieces in the right spot. So since we have the green cross and all the sides completed, all we have to do is get the individual green pieces on the bottom matching both sides. So this side is a yellow and an orange. So we find the yellow and orange piece, and it's actually right above it, and that's where it needs to be. So since it's right here, what I do is turn it up, turn it over, and then it's in the right spot, and all you have to do is turn that down. And you can consider this an algorithm, just like the last one, but when you do it multiple times, it just becomes second nature. Then you have the red piece and the white piece here, and you can just pull this up and then just kick that out of there like that. And then when you turn this back down, you still have your green cross and everything all set up, but you freed that green piece. So you have red and white, and red and white, and turn that up, turn that over, just like we did before. And conveniently, that one was the same as the one prior. I was hoping for a little more confusing one so I could show you guys something more complex. But so you have the green piece here. You just want to kick that out. And actually, when we kick that out, we kick the other one right back into place. So this is a little easier cube to solve than some of the other positions. But let's see if I can... Okay, this one's a little more confusing position. Oh, no, it's not. It's the same friggin' position. Okay, so that was a little easier to do. I might show some other examples in another video of something that's a little more confusing. Maybe where it's like, it's, okay, so if I turn this here, okay, so if it's here, if the green is up here, you have to do, you have to turn these two sides a few more times. So I'll just kick that out of there just for now. So you still have all the green right, you have the red side, the white side, the orange, and everything, and this is the last piece you need. So what you need to do is get that above there, and then you just kind of have to turn these surfaces a couple times. So what I do is actually turn that twice to get that there, turn this back down, and then you just do the same one that we did before. And this video might be going a little fast. If this is the first time you've ever solved the Rubik's Cube, I would suggest going to a different video and actually figuring out the algorithms. But even if you've never done a Rubik's Cube before and you can get this far with this video, it kind of shows you how easy the first half is to do without memorizing any algorithms. It's just getting the piece in the right spot. But for the second half, in my next video, we actually do have to do a lot of the algorithms to get these pieces in the right spot. Like this one is actually already in the right spot, but these other ones, that's the next step, is getting these corner ones done. But in the second video, I'll actually show you guys not only the algorithms to do it, but an easier way to memorize the algorithms, and I'll actually show you where the pieces go and what they do in order to get that piece there. And it'll kind of give you a better visualization of not only doing the algorithms and memorizing them, but figuring out how they get there. So even if you forget the algorithm, you can still kind of figure out, like, okay, well, this goes up here, and then it kind of preserves it, and then it comes back around here. But I'll go in a little more in depth in that in the second video, so stay tuned.